Good afternoon. We ready to start this party? Everybody ready to start this party? Good afternoon, everybody. I am your hostess for the mostest today. I'm Fee Gentry, and I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are ready to start this really outstanding session. So thank you all so much for coming out and being here with us today. So just some really quick housekeeping tips right quick. If you are in this room and you want to see the screens, you want access to all these screens, just hit the stage Zoom button to the right of your chat box to zoom into a specific screen. You can hit the plus icon above the screen. If you happen to see no slides or a gray slide, go ahead and hit refresh on the top the icon right there on the top of the right-hand corner screen, and you should be good to go. All right. So the next thing that I want to talk to you all about what's going on is the summit. We have a full agenda, so always make sure you follow this agenda. We have 2 more days left, and so make sure you see your state meetups, your trivia night. Tonight is going to be awesome, a 1EXP meetup and greet, and so much more. So make sure you guys stay engaged and keep going. This is going to be fun. And then in the few minutes, y'all, we have coming up shortly, you'll hear from our keynote speaker. He's an actor, a wellness master, an activist, an entrepreneur, and a 4-time MBA champion, John Salley. So stay tuned. John's going to share mostly about how you guys can achieve a goal and be pleasantly satisfied with their results, but to continually to create new tasks to accomplish and reinvent yourself in this marketplace. So stay tuned. This is going to be awesome. Let's see what else we have going on. Could you expand the next slide up there? Okay, we got that. And the next one after that is, like we already talked about, trivia night. So make sure you guys do the trivia night. And I think we're ready to go. So without further ado, you guys, I really want to introduce you, just a funny guy. I'm going to talk about, I guess let's do trivia first. Trivia night is tonight. You guys don't want to miss it. Trivia night is going to be with our none other than Brad Anderson. He's going to come in the house. And so it's going to be Tuesday, May 18th, which is tonight, 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's going to be in the next hour. Brad Anderson will be hosting. You do not want to miss that. So make sure you go see it. And it'll be right here in the main campus and auditorium, right here. So stay tuned and keep your seats after this event. All righty. And then last but not least, don't forget, like we talked about, the breakout sessions. And anything else that I'm missing here? 1EXP meet and greet. We've already kind of talked about that. And for the record, for those of you who are savvy on social media, we really want to get our brand out there. So go into your social media and go EXP. So hashtag EXP shareholder. Again, hashtag EXP shareholder. You might just appear on our board. So just make sure you do that. That'll be fun for us to spread the EXP love. And then last but not least, we always want to thank our sponsors. So when you go out to the EXP booths, make sure you say hi to our sponsors. So big shout out to them. Many of them, are here and supporting us, and we're just really glad and grateful for them. All right, can we get to the next screen? And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to bring up one of the most dynamic people that I've met in recent memory. I used to root against him until he came on with the Lakers and then the Chicago Bulls, I believe. And he's just one of the first NBA players, I think, in history to win championships with 3 different teams. And so I'd like to bring on, without further ado, Mr. John Salley. Come on, John. Come on up. Y'all give him a round of applause. He's a little shy. You'll notice this in a little bit. He's a little shy. So you guys want to clap? So go to your board and cut a clap. You clap a little louder, maybe he'll come. He's a fellow New Yorker, exactly.
Alrighty, I got a pro tip for John. Nobody else do this, please. John, if you're here, go ahead and go in the go-to menu, and the very first option that you're going to see is the stage. It's going to plop you right here on the front of the stage, and we will get you set up with your webcam.
There he is.
Perfect.
Yeah. I was trying to say, I heard you.
I figured you did.
Let me back up. Back up. And thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Oh, you're welcome, John. We're
I
just so
didn't
excited.
believe one bit of it.
You're saying go Georgia Tech. Well, you want to go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and the floor is yours. Do you want him on the cam, Jen?
Yes, please. He knows what he's doing.
Better light.
Woo, when he stood up, I'm glad he had pants on. Woo.
Okay, is that better light? I want more light.
Yeah, it looks like the light looks pretty good. We see your avatar. Alrighty. So while we're waiting for John to come back, here he comes, y'all. I think he's set. All right. You look handsome. You look good.
Do you want it
Beautiful.
closer?
Beautiful.
Do you want it like this or like this?
However you want. You're good. Just like that. You make
Like-
me motion sick. So there you go. Just like that. Oh man, really?
All right. Let me turn this out.
John's a bit of a perfectionist. He's trying to get the light right.
This is the power of authenticity.
It is, right? He is. I know Curtis, he was messing with me. He knows I'm motion, like he knows I get motion sick. I get motion sickness. Like I get the most motion sick ever. So that's hilarious. Alrighty. So Jen, while we're waiting for him to get the lights right, I think everybody is pretty much informed on John. But when he comes back, y'all, we're gonna wish him a happy birthday. So we do want to do that. I forgot he just turned a certain age, hit a good number, and he looks really good for his age. So if we can, we'll say like make sure when he comes back in the chat, y'all blow it up and say happy birthday to him.
Okay. There we go.
Look at the chat, John.
Oh my God.
Everybody's saying happy birthday to you. So we're ready to go now. That was the one thing we were missing was to say happy birthday to you. So happy birthday, and we're ready to start whenever you are.
What do you want me to talk about?
You know.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's start with this. You know how we started? Like you're such an amazing speaker and you could talk on your own. This is kind of you doing your own thing, kind of like really authentic up. But remember we talked when we were just getting ready for the show, we talked to you, read things about you on the paper, but talk to us about what's not on the paper. So go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so you want me to start now, not at 1:35?
You can start now would be great. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were just talking. I didn't know. Hey, hello everybody. How you doing? John Salley here. And I'm going to send everybody listening my Cash App so you all can send me $100 and I'll wait. No, I am really excited to be here. Extremely. One, this platform is amazing to me. I've been on for about an hour and a half now. I tried to get on last night and pay attention. I'm glad everybody else did, but it was this is next level, and I really like it. I'm used to being where you can be around people and I can do selfies and all kind of things, but this is pretty cool. I'm finally able to write off a room in my house in my taxes. Thank you. I guess when we were talking, yes, I did win NBA championships, and I don't remember them. I know everybody thinks that I do. To me, it was so long ago. It was just such, I was in it, and And I talk about that a lot. I talk about being in the moment, about being in it. But I didn't get to enjoy it. Like my family got to enjoy it, my friends, fans, obviously the owners of teams and the organizations. But it happened so fast to us that we don't really get a chance to enjoy it. And then I wondered why. So after my first championship, I decided I was going to go back what got me to this position, and that was having fun. So a lot of guys would see me and they would think that I was joking all the time. I was always smiling, but then when the game started, I turned into the Tasmanian Devil. And if you're old enough to know who that is, it's a Bugs Bunny thing. Uh, one, one of the ways is I would say for 2 hours, I have to totally be this totally focused individual. 2 hours. That was a hard thing to do because you guys may see an athlete and say, "Oh, there's a game tonight at 7, or a game at 7:30, or it's this afternoon at 3," and you do everything you can to get going to the game. But as an athlete, that game is 24 hours. So from the day before I have to play, I'm mentally working on that game I have to play. Then when the game gets there, my focus becomes anything outside of this court doesn't matter. Kobe Bryant was really good at focusing. We know he went through some situations, but when he got on court, he was able to take all of his energies and put it into that. I took that mentality outside of basketball. Now, I don't brag about things. You can Wikipedia, or you can look me up. But one of the things I wanted to do when I was young was be an actor. I always wanted to be an entertainer. So I consider professional sports as entertainment. I always wanted to be an entertainer. But I wanted to be an entertainer like Johnny Carson, like Richard Pryor, like Eddie Murphy. I wanted to act like Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte. Those were things that I wanted to do. But I was growing up, as they talk about your environment. My environment is a small housing apartment in Brooklyn, New York called Bayview. And I would go up on the roof and look west. I always pictured myself being in Hollywood. But I had to literally make a plan. My plan was, because I saw a lot of people fall short of what we thought they should do or what they said they should do. I had this unbelievable focus. Chuck Daly used to say to me, he was the coach of the Detroit Pistons Bad Boys. He passed not too long ago, God rest his soul. Chuck Daly used to say, "John Salley, you have the best mental health of any athlete." And I didn't understand what that meant. We had some characters on the team, one of them being Dennis Rodman. So I kind of understood what he was saying. But what he meant by that is I was able to place things where they needed to be. I was able to realize what was life-threatening or so important, and I was able to pay attention to literally understanding that I was there to entertain. A lot of guys take it on, like people ask me, what's your favorite team? Is it Detroit? Is it Chicago? Or is it the Lakers, Miami? I'm just going to say I lived every day. Whatever jersey I was wearing, whatever team felt that I could help them win, and every way I could help win, I would do that. So I had this mental health mentality of put things where they need to be. And a lot of people didn't have that ability. So I knew I was going to play sports. But first, I knew I was going to get good grades in high school. The reason I knew I was going to get good grades in high school because I'd seen so many other athletes fall short and have to go to a junior college. So I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to have the best grades I could possibly have. Then I wanted to pick the best college that wasn't just for sports, that would help me in my afterlife. I always knew I was going to be a professional athlete. So for those out there to wonder if there's a fallback or a plan B, my plan B is to make sure plan A is working perfectly or working like I need it to work. And since I knew this is life and there's certain things called fate, they say you can't determine it, but what you can do on this planet at this time is you can literally put yourself in the right place for the future. So I picked Georgia Tech. The reason I picked Georgia Tech is I went to visit. They took me to a class. I think it was a physics class. To this day, I do not know what anybody was speaking about. I got back to my mom's hotel. I called my mother. I said, I'm going to Georgia Tech. I knew I was going to Georgia Tech because I knew they were challenging me to do something else. They were the worst team in Division I. By my junior year, we were the #1 team in the country. I'm not saying it was all me, but I had something to do with it. Anyway, but I'm joking, kind of. But that was my mentality. My mentality was, now that I got to a good college, a great base, when I go pro, I'm going to be a champion. And every time I kept moving, and everybody would say, well, you're 7 foot tall. Well, God blessed me with that. But I still would have done it if I was Isaiah Thomas's height, if I was 6 foot tall, if I was 5'11". There was no way I was not going to be what I wanted my profession to be. What that means is I had to sacrifice. I had to sacrifice my teenage years. So when people were out experimenting with different drinks and cannabis and drugs and chasing girls and being a kid in puberty, I had to go to practice. I literally played every single day. It wasn't a day I missed from 10th grade to 12th grade of playing basketball, whether it was snowing, raining, race riots, no matter what. I literally grabbed a basketball and played because I thought, and it was funny because when I read The Tipping Point and The Outlier by Malcolm, it talked about 20,000 hours. I had no idea that that was a thing. What I knew is that if I worked harder than everybody else in my circle, I'd be the best and somebody would see that. Then I go pro. I work my butt off. We win a championship. We win the next championship. And one of the things that got to me about people is they always ask, what was next? We just won the championship, and I literally heard somebody say, are you guys going to win next year? As if we didn't just win then. And I started paying attention to that. I started paying attention to exactly what people wanted out of me. Then I really started paying attention to what I wanted. I really don't stop, turn around to look at what I've done. I just keep setting goals. And I had to learn that because when I retired from the NBA, I was 32 years old. And what do you do as a 32-year-old? You don't even find out who you are until you're 40. You don't believe it until you're 50. And you're mad at it when you're 60. So I've heard that, and I said, well, how do I plan again? How do I do what I did when I was a teenager, sacrifice of what I wanted? Since then, been in 66 shows, I think 18 movies. I've hosted personally 3 shows by myself, 3 or 4 shows by myself. Now in a position on ownership with Wave, WEIV, called ridethewave.com. You guys can check it out. And I literally started thinking of how do I get involved with people that are making it to where we now know what a celebrity is, or somebody that I guess that we pay attention to, whether it be an influencer, an athlete, a singer, whatever it may be. And I decided to get on this side of it. I decided to get on this side, give entertainers and people who develop their information, their content, their music, their ideas, their thoughts. They can go on Wave, ridethewave.com. And I literally, when I got involved, it was a platform I was looking at. That's why I'm so interested in wondering about this platform. I always was wondering, what do I do? What's next? How do I win a championship at this? Did it with Beyond Meat too. And Beyond Meat, I met Ethan, the owner of Beyond Meat. My friend Beth Moskowitz introduced me. That time we just had a whiteboard and he was talking about it, and he finally tasted the burger and it was okay. but I watched him work on it and work on it. And I watched him saying, this is going to change the world. And I remember Ethan saying that. And I was like, yeah, veganism is going to change the world because people are going to realize that it's not sustainable to kill 56 billion land animals a year and consider that to be food, especially the rate we're going with people. I'm not saying we're overpopulated because we're not, but we're going to have to figure it out. That's my veganism pitch for anybody out there that doesn't know I'm a vegan. And in that in that process, I kept thinking, what's next? How can I help the next person coming behind me, the next entertainer, the next kid that grows up in a project and says, I'm going to be on TV. There's a guy named football player. His name is Willie McGinnis. He was a 3-time championship player on the Patriots, linebacker, great guy. He's on EXPI now. He literally came up and thanked me. He said, because you doing all the things you do just makes all of us believe that we can do it too. And I thought, hey, that was great. I wish I wasn't the pioneer to get all the arrows, but I wasn't. I watched some great men flip their careers and stay into what they wanted to do. I started paying attention to that too. I started getting into mindful thinking. I had a shrink in college. They call him a sports psychiatrist who helped me focus. They said I had anger problems. I'm just a New Yorker. Move your car. Anyway, I just, I'm walking over here. My mentality was, and he would teach me how to breathe, how to focus. We get to Chicago and Phil Jackson has a guy come in, George Munford, and they do mindful thinking, mindful thought, mindful intentions. And this whole time I just thought, you just pray to yourself and just go out there and you practice, and you do. You have to put in all the work to get to this point. The blessing I have is I can say 4-time NBA champ. That means I was on the #1 team 4 times in the amount of years that the NBA has been in existence. So they said, are you worried about being on the Hall of Fame? I'm already in the Hall of Fame. I don't need any personal accolades. I'm in. But that meant that mindful thinking, the way our teammates got together. So I'm going to tell you. So we're in Chicago and we're winning, but all of a sudden we had like a downtime. This all leads back to why I tell you how to focus on mental health. So Phil Jackson says, hey, we're going to play for minutes. Now, for people out there that don't know, in the NBA or in any NBA, any professional sports, minutes are very important. The more minutes you play, the more points you score. When it comes time to negotiate, the more money you will get. That's the mentality. So you want your minutes. You don't want to get to a point where they feel they have to have you. You want them to know that they have to have you on the court a certain amount of time. So Phil said, we're practicing for minutes. So guys got taped up. Michael Jordan got taped. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, they got on their war paint. They ready to go. Phil Jackson said, everybody in the film room first. So we go in, fully taped, ready to battle. Then George comes out and he starts talking. He tells all of us to hold hands. Now I'm tripping because what? Holding hands? I know this guy doesn't shower all the time. I don't want to hold his hand. Anyway, and then he started making us breathe. He said, and I want everybody to catch each other's breath. So it was in, out, in and out, and then to the point we were one breath. Do you know we won 19 straight games when I was on the Lakers and we did this? Chicago, we wind up winning 72 games. And Phil knew to call it in when he did, because at that time we had only lost 8 games out of 82. But he saw mentally we were losing focus. So he wanted us to get back in focus. And in doing that and speaking to us, an hour, it must have been like an hour and 20 minutes in that room, doing breathing techniques, paying attention to what we were doing, speaking about it. And then Phil said, all right, go home. And everybody was looking around like that was it. He had the best mental practice I'd ever had. I've had a physical practice. I had really tough physical practices my entire career. But this one literally made my brain, I guess, the strongest it can possibly be. I use it to this day, and everything I do, before I say something negative, I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My brain. I think of the Dalai Lama. I was telling guys in the audience that I had a chance to have an audience with the Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama saying is, honesty without compassion is brutality. So people say, I'm brutally honest. That's not good. Really, because you can hit somebody on their arm and they can heal. But if you say something in their brain, it stays there. It's trauma. It's worse than physical pain. So I figure out a way to be compassionate in everything I say and every way I move. I believe I'm going to win every time I set out to do something. I don't think of what happens if I lose. Don't. Not saying I haven't lost or I haven't failed at something. Well, I can say that. I've never failed at anything. I've only learned from everything. So going back to sports, in that mentality, having that thought process, what was I going to do after? I did television. I was on a great show, Best Damn Sports Show, period. I did halftime on NBC, done some really good shows. But what I'm doing now, what am I going to do after? When I'm looking at this whole EXP world and real estate, I've done real estate, I guess, since I retired. I've been mostly on, but I pay attention. What is the focus? How can I get involved? How can I use my focus? How can I use my pedigree, my way, my powers that I've developed over these years to benefit? So, and after basketball, that was it. I said, how am I going to be the best businessman I can possibly be? How am I going to win a championship? I put myself in a position with Isaiah Thomas. If you guys don't know, he's probably one of the greatest guys of all time. Started One World Farmer. Well, he started One World Farmer. We're the largest hemp growers in the world out of Colombia. Cannabis and hemp. We'll get into that. And the way we looked at it is, how do we not put ourselves in the position not being able to prosper? How do you see it all the time. You hear about athletes going broke, and you hear about entertainers going broke and going through all their money. The reason is, back to the outliers. If you've been practicing and training 20,000 hours, great at your craft, it's going to be hard to be great at finances as well. So you have to grab it, treat it exactly as if it's a sport. That's the way I am. Back when I used to read the newspapers, there was a newspaper called USA Today, and they would give them to us, or they'd be in our hotel and grab a newspaper, and the sports section would be gone. And I knew the sports section was gone. I was so happy because I only wanted to read the entertainment center anyway. And then I started reading the finance side, and I started realizing, I got a college education, college degree in industrial management out of Georgia Tech. So understanding the technical part, thanks to Dr. Adler. Understanding how that works, but getting in there and learning it, just like I did basketball. Do I have another 20 years? Because it took me 21 years to become a professional athlete. I'm now, thanks to a lot of you saying happy birthday, this Sunday I turned 57. And I was like, do I have another 20 years to give 20,000 hours to do something? And instead, you have to be quick with it. So I decided to use everything that I've learned and I guess retrofit it. I took my gas car, made it an electric car from batteries, is the mentality. How do I move forward? How do I do what I want to do and be happy at it? How do I take all of my lessons I've learned and make it work quicker for me to life? So that's why I'm sitting in front of y'all. It can be done. I fought my entire life the mentality of a dumb athlete. Every time they would make a joke about it in movies, or I would see it on television shows, I would read the dictionary every day to learn a new word. and then how to say the new word and how to use the new word. I would pay attention to diction, when to use went, when to use gone. I would pay attention to literally, I guess, the texture and the wording on how people have literally used words. And I realized I had an energy. I had an energy that some people like. I could be funny, and I use that to disarm people, to put them at bay, but I also use it to bring the good energy into every spot I need to. Since then, in 1991, I said I went into macrobiotics, mainly because I had high cholesterol and I wanted to change my body, so I went to a plant-based diet. But I stopped lying at the age of 40. And like I said, at the age of 50, when I finally stopped lying, it took me that long. And what I mean by that is I stopped lying to myself. I would not tell myself a lie. I would not convince or talk myself into something that wasn't. I was totally dealing with the real. And I sat down with my wife and I had a conversation. I talked to her for like 3 hours. She didn't talk to me for 3 days after that. But that's okay. We're still together 27 years. And of course, now she says, I got a truthful man who is a great husband. I just want you guys to know that I'm a great husband. I said that, she won't, but I a great father, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to be truthful about every single intention. I'm going to move with only good thoughts in my brain. And I learned all this, gotta go to it, being a vegan. Because I realized that being a vegan, I had to think outside of just myself. I had to think outside of what I thought tasted good, or what I was used to, or what the tradition. It had to be what was right. And it wasn't right for me to feel I had to take somebody's life or something's life, sentinel being's life, in order for me to be happy. In doing that, the blessing was this. I'm 10 pounds lighter than I was in 1999, 2000. I'm healthy. I look great. Handsome devil is what the words they use. No, but I literally focused on being the best person I can possibly be. And that's everything. And don't lie to yourself about it. If you know that you're a liar, that's any kind of lie. That means that you're telling the person that you're lying to that they're not intelligent enough to handle the truth. First thing. Second thing is, I don't want you to know who I really am. Then I started feeling I don't mind who knows who I really am. I like myself. And I think you're intelligent enough to handle the truth. You're not. And I'm going to tell you the truth in compassionately. And if you're not, that's okay. I don't have anything to sit back and wonder about. I don't have to wonder if I did it wrong. I did it in my truth. I did it compassionately. And I started carrying that life on with me. Now, if anybody knows, when I played basketball, I hit people a lot. This is my job. A lot of people thought I was mean. I wasn't mean. My job. Now I do more than just my job. I'm not saying I do anybody else's job, but I work so hard on becoming the best person I can become that it's a full-time job. I don't really, on the radio and they had gossip, I took gossip off of my show because I realized it wasn't enhancing the person they were gossiping about, my audience, or me reading it. So I decided not to do that. I decided not to be prejudiced. I used to be prejudiced. I used to prejudge people. Just like everyone prejudges, they look and they think they know because they heard something or they had an experience. I stopped prejudging people. I started becoming literally focused on becoming the best person, period. way I can look at it. I know I'm going to connect it to the best damn sports show, period, but the best person, period. The reason I say that, and the reason I'm going to say it again, is it goes back to the mindfulness. It goes back to breathing. It goes back to eating. It goes back to what you want the people to see. Do you want to wake up every day and have to wash your face twice because you're two-faced? No. You want to get up and be able to walk in a room, and if somebody doesn't like you, you know it's their problem, not both of yours. Do you want to literally leave somebody with a good feeling after they meet you? Not by being fake. Like, your authentic self is enough. If you're quiet and introverted and you want to be like Shrek and stay in the forest and live like, that's great. As long as you're not hurting anything else, great. If you're literally perpetuating gossip, you're literally spewing out fake things or things that you think people should do, or telling everybody they should go this one way, not living in your own time. It's so hard to literally guide other people, not guide yourself. One of the things I learned and one of the things I took, I was in the gym by myself many nights when I was at Georgia Tech, many nights when I was in Detroit, many nights in Miami, the Lakers. Shaquille and I used to shoot foul shots on Sunday nights, and he would hit them all Sunday night. Not during the game all the time, but when it was just in the gym, focused on playing, it would work. And I took that. So I said I had to hurry up and say all of that basketball, all of those practices, suicides, running back and forth, miles of running, lifting weights. How is it going to benefit me in my next life? How is it going to move forward? I think I retired at 32, and then I re-retired again at 36 because I came back after 3 years. Now I'm 36 years old. I want to live another, 80 years. Go vegan. And so what am I going to do with the next 80 years? How am I going to take these 36 years that I've lived and make it benefit me? How am I going to be mindful about what I do? Not only am I mindful about that, I'm mindful about what I eat, mindful about what I say. I'm mindful about what I wear, what I drive. I'm mindful about how I present myself to the public. I'm mindful. I'm not sitting around having to be one way and another. One of my heroes, his picture's over there. I can't really show y'all. Yeah, I can. See that up there? It's a picture of Walter Payton. And then behind me, there's a picture of Dr. J and the picture of Muhammad Ali. These guys literally were who I try to model my career after. Athletically, I try to reach as high up and jump as high as Dr. J. Did I turn out to be as great as Dr. J? Well, I got more championships, but never as great as the Doc. That's my Michael Jordan. Walter Payton literally fought through things. It wasn't that tall of a guy. Great voice. It was taken from us too soon with liver cancer. Muhammad Ali, if you don't know the history of Muhammad Ali, know that before you know the history of George Washington, because it's important. His mentality on how you are with the people that look like you. How are you going to forget those around you? Are you going to give them hope? Are you going to tell them they're worth something? Are you going to show them that you're still, you may have a little bit more money, but doesn't mean that you're more of a person or a better person. I tell you guys, and I know this is a great company and people are making tons of money, and in the next year, from what I understand, you guys are going to have 100 countries behind the real estate. I'm telling you, the thing that people will remember is literally what you stood for, what you say, how you present yourself, what you stand for. It is the saying that reputation is what you fall for. Character is what you stand for. So what his character, these three men had unbelievable character to me. I literally put these pictures up because I knew I was going to be on for you guys. A wonderful artist painted them for me because I told them how important those three people were. Now, I was fortunate to be raised with my father, mother, and my three older brothers. So obviously I'm the most blessed one because I'm the youngest. And anybody out there that's the youngest knows you're the smartest and the most blessed one in the family. But I was I was able to, a lot of people weren't able to have a father figure or older brothers who were doing things. My brother Ron and my brother Will, brother Jerry were really, really focused on me not messing up my opportunity. And it, but these three guys, when it talks about, when I look back and I think about how big Muhammad Ali was in my life, be able to stand up for something he thought was right was amazing. For Dr. J, for literally, I was a junior in college and we were like #1 team in the country on the top 5, and I got to meet Dr. J finally. Say, hey Doc, well, give me one tip that's going to help me get into the pros. He said, take a nap every day. I thought he was joking. He was like, no, you're going to become Insabic. 2 hours in the afternoon, you'll play better. And from that day on, I was going to sleep at 2:30. Oh, I got to go to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. No, at 2:30 to like 4. Now I don't do it as much as I did when I was playing, but it was part of my routine, part of my mindfulness or resting my body. It was part of understanding that Dr. J told me to take a nap. I was going to sleep. Since then, we've done so many different events. Still gives me jewels to take into to pass on to other people. That's why that at that point. So back to this mindful thought. Everybody would go through, and if you've seen it, we're in a rough time. And this pandemic hit, and no one was able to leave. I was blessed enough to be able to go outside my house, walk around, not through the neighborhood, but, around, not too far. And it was paying attention. And I saw how green things were coming. I saw how quiet things were. And I thought it was a really, really good reset. A lot of people it hurt. It really did. It financially, it hurt things, but a lot of people got to find out about their relationships. A lot of people got time to find out about themselves. A lot of people got to find out how important people were to be around. People, missing interaction. They make jokes on Saturday Night Live because it's so real. It was, how do you act? Well, I tell you this is the time I'm telling y'all to sit still. Best thing you can possibly do, and I'll teach you this technique. Still, you breathe in your nose and you breathe out of your mouth. The only thing you focus on is the breath. The reason I say that is because I know we're in business. I know this is a business part of it. And I get Entrepreneur Magazine. So imagine I'm reading what everyone is doing, how they're doing it, which way. And one thing I've realized that a lot of people do is they say they listen to their gut. Now, brings me all the way back to the food. Your first mind is your lower intestines and your gut. First mind, that's the first time when food goes down, all the signals, all the information, you go here and feed the brain, you go here and feed the toe, that's how it works in your gut. So it was important that 99% of all of the hormones you need are made in your gut. So I started paying attention. I started being mindful about what I was eating. I started being mindful about the way I chewed. I started really paying attention how it works. I was around a great man named Michael Milken. He does everything with philanthropy now. But Michael literally had his person making him food, made sure that the food had energy, because he was going to need a lot of energy to what he's doing in philanthropy, Tri-State Institute. And so I paid attention. I didn't see anybody, I'm not going to say anything bad, run to a fast food joint for energy. I didn't see them go grab a sugary bar to raise the index energy. Saw them stop, have family time, know exactly what time they were going to work, when they were going to give their kids time, their wife time, when they were going to breathe. You always see these people on a boat by the beach. Yeah, they can sit there and get all the ions and breathe in the ocean air and realize how wonderful life is. On my birthday, I usually disappear. So that way I call it my one day. And those don't know, I live in a house of a lot of women, and I don't have a lot of say so. So I'm up late at night, and I usually go to the beach. And when I'm at the beach, I'm sitting there and I'm watching, looking at the waves, and I said, I'm going to see if I can see a wave that looks like the next wave. And I've been doing this for about 30 years now, folks. I have never seen the same wave twice. That means that each of us completely different. Each of us are perfect. There's no other you. So that means you're perfect. However you end up is perfect. It's like a Picasso. Finish it, it was finished. It was perfect. And people don't, I'm not saying he's the greatest artist, but that mentality, when you're you. Now, if you want to enhance your body, that's all great. Whatever you want to do to your avatar, like this avatar to make it look good, couldn't add more muscles. I was trying to, and my butt is really flat in these jeans. But if whatever you want to do to enhance it, remember, it's you being you. It's you being perfect. It's you being honest to yourself. It's you wanting what you want for yourself. One of the things somebody said to me, every time you say that, it sounds like you're selfish. I'm telling you to be selfish. I'm not telling you to take from somebody else and not give to somebody else and hoard all things in front of you, meaning be selfish. You should spend so much time making you the best person you can possibly be. You don't know. Like I tell this to guys, man. I said women will go get their hair done, their nails done, their eyebrows done, their eyelashes done. They will get facials. They'll get the best because they want to present the best them. And then the guys will come up looking one way, or partly take a shower. That's not being the best person you can possibly be to yourself. Not taking care of you. Nothing is going to be good until you do. Nothing is going to be great until you take care of yourself first. What do they say on the plane? Give yourself oxygen and then help the person to your right or your left. It's like you have to be alive. You have to be the best you in order to help the next person. So I focus when it's time to not hang out, focus on what I need to do. I don't sit around and get so crazed about it that I'm don't know how to talk to people, or so crazed and I'm like beautiful mind, too much in it. But I will give it the focus it needs to move to the next level. I will use that mindful thought process, that healthy mental health process to get to that point. You'll win championships. The reason I know that is because I've done it, and in more than just basketball. Anything I've ever done in my life that I've ever thought of and accomplished it, because I focused, because I was selfish when I needed to be. On Wednesday nights or Thursday nights when people were watching TV or going to bowling alleys, I was in acting class for 3 hours. Not trying to become Brad Pitt or Denzel Washington, but to respect the craft. Become the best actor whenever they put the camera in front of me I can possibly be. Just like if Coach said, go in and get him, my job was to go in the game and try not to let him get back on court. I'm trying to be the best possibly be in each situation I was moving on. So I think about this, and I think about it, and even today, before I was walking around this wonderful platform, which is an unbelievable platform. Wait to bring it to some other places, but I just started thinking. Somebody sat down, thought of this, thought what it would be, and this is a reality. Now we're all sitting in their reality. They made it up. They made it a reality. We're sitting in their reality. What are you going to do in your reality? Going to sit around and talk about what somebody else is doing? Going to sit around and say, man, claps to him. Right. Good to her. Oh, good to they. They are doing great. Now what do I want to do? So what I'm doing now is being the best entrepreneur I can possibly be, trying to figure out how to use my talents that I developed all these years and how do I make them work in my future. Plan on living to like 122 years old. The reason I picked that number is my grandmother lived to 118. No, 22 is my number. I just don't want to ever think about the other way. Not saying it's not in my mind that it can happen and we all are going to run to a point where we perish. But while I'm on this planet, do as many good things as possible. Not even for the accolades. I've already had enough people clap and cheer and boo and throw things at me. I'm doing them because they need to be done. Doing them because that'll make me the best person I can possibly be. So, what I have for you guys, that's my spiel. That's what I believe. And if anybody has any questions, cash at me. No, joking. Venmo. I'm joking. Anybody have any questions that they want to see? I don't have my glasses on, so this is really small type on the left side of my screen. But anything anybody wants to ask or say, I'm available for questions.
All right, John, that was fire. There shouldn't be anybody who has any questions because I mean, you went from contribution to mental health. That Plan B is making sure Plan A works perfectly. You talked about mindfulness. You talked about being one. You covered it all. So if anybody has any questions, I would be we want to hear them. But we are just so grateful to have you, man. You just place is fire. Look at the audience; they're just going crazy, crazy, crazy. So
Man, look
thank
at
you
all
so
those
much
colored
for
people out there.
yeah.
Greens and blues and pinks, some
Yep,
red.
everybody's out there. They're having a great. It says, "Do you have any?" What does it say? Oh, so somebody did have one question that they did that I just saw really quickly. It says, "Do you have any regrets?"
Yes, I do. And it's so funny. I left this out, but I did a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And in doing this show, I was in the jungle for 28 days and I've never camped. Um, I was going to make a joke, but it's changed. But I never literally wanted to be outside in a tent. And I had to do it for 28 days. And that means I had to give up my ego, and I had to realize that I was one of the earth, and there was rats running along the river, and there was spiders, and I was arachnophobic, and I was outside, and Janice Dickinson was there. It was a tough time in the jungle. It was crazy. And the one thing that I regretted is that I didn't learn how to let go earlier. Like if I would have learned how to do this my 20s, couldn't imagine what my 30s and 40s. Well, I tell you, I in my brain a lot of times I try to go back and think, what would I've changed in the past? And since hindsight is 2020, you can't change what's already happened. What is what is. Uh, what would I change, and what now resembles what I would have changed then? Well, I saw a great saying the other day, the best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. So your future self, what would make your future self better? Regret I have is a lot of times I over trusted people, and I believed and trusted people were going to handle my business as diligently as I was. And I tell you this, they're not. No one is going to handle your business as diligent or as with as much care as you are. Now, there's going to be people that you hire around you that you're going to see who can follow your lead. Even if you leave them in charge, it's still not going to be you. So a very important thing is to pay attention to your business, every part about it. Not to details are very important, and put people around you that really treat your business like it's their business. That's another blessed thing. Don't just hire somebody because they need a job and it's your uncle's. It's your uncle knows this guy who his kid is he needs a job. It may be. Hire those who are going to benefit your business. Period. End of discussion. That's my.
Wow.
I don't know if I answered your question, but the only regret is that I didn't wake up sooner and realize to let go and let God.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, like I said, those of you all who missed some of this, I think people are not going to understand how impactful this session that we had together. You all go back and this is all going to be recorded. Lots of people are asking, is this recorded? Is this recorded? So yes, it's recorded. You guys can go back and look at it. They're going to put the link in there, so we're going to do that. Lots of people are asking you about basketball questions, and do you want to answer basketball questions, or do you want to?
Yeah, I can answer basketball questions.
Do you mind? Okay, there's some people who want to know between Kobe, Shaq, Michael Jordan, what was the biggest lesson that you learned on and off the court with those three? I know that you did an interview with about Kobe about 3 days ago, honoring him and getting him in the Hall of Fame. So, and you had a really great story about that. So, if you want to share, that would be great in these last few minutes we have.
Yeah, well, what I learned from Michael Jordan, I've been around Michael Jordan since he was in college. He went to Georgia. He went to University of North Carolina, and I went to Georgia Tech. So we were in the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. And I've been around him since, I guess, his sophomore year. Came to visit his sophomore year. Played against him my freshman year. We're fraternity brothers, Omega Psi Phi Incorporated, Q-Psi. And, what I learned from Michael is how to live in a cage. And what that means is, Michael, it was like we were gladiators. You know, you go someplace. I told somebody when I was on Bulls, we were playing against the Knicks and we're staying at the Plaza. And I'm from New York. They took us inside the Plaza in a door I didn't even know was there, to a room I didn't even know was there. And I was like, oh, so this is what it's like, you know, being on the road with the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and Elvis Presley. It was amazing on how it was moving in and how he was able to keep his cool, because you realize he couldn't go anywhere. He can't walk down the street by himself. I mean, he did in Barcelona because it was early in the morning and no one knew who he was, really. That's when the big thing with the Dream Team. Can't just go to the corner store and get something. Can't do that. So I learned from Michael where he put his focus, and his focus was on the court. What's not on the court, it's on the golf field. It's on a golf course. When it's in business, it's in business. He is laser focused. I learned that. What I learned from Shaquille is that there's no physical attribute you have that can stop you from doing whatever you want to do. Shaq can break dance. Shaq can run. Shaq can swim. Shaq can act, rap, every single thing you can possibly think of. Shaquille O'Neal said, I'm not going to let the fact that I'm almost 300, I'm 300 pounds, 7'2", stop me from doing certain things. I thought that was amazing. And he was probably the best big man to ever play in the NBA. Just didn't have, well, he had a lot of time, but so many other things were in his path, them trying to compare him to people as opposed to just him being Shaquille. But he proved everybody that he was definitely a champion 3 times. And what I learned from Mamba, I love Kobe, man. I got punched in the stomach by Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker. They didn't punch me. Michael Jordan was sitting to the right, and they were sitting there, and they go, okay, this is your man right here. You've been saying it all the time. Who's better, Michael or Kobe? And I looked at Michael, and I said, at 27 years old, Michael, he would have gave you the business. And then Charles Oakley punched me in the stomach for saying that blasphemy. But Michael knew I was going to say that just because I like to rile people up. What I did learn from Kobe is that he wanted to be known as the greatest player to ever play. So imagine he's 20 years old, and I said, so you're going to be the next Michael Jordan? He said, no, I'm going to be the first Kobe Bryant. He was. So that's what I learned from those 3.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. So with that being a wrap here, I mean, we are so blessed for your time. There's a couple people in the audience who are saying Miss Lady Angelita Lady Bird says hello. Some people who
Angelina,
know you from fifth.
Angelina. There's one of my oldest friends too. So
Yeah,
she,
so there's some people in the audience who are saying hello. There's some people who know you are saying hello in the audience. So we just wanted to give it. They say want to give it a shout to you. But everybody, you all put in the chat for all that you all are gratitude toward John. We got to have you back. Oh, that's the one thing, man. Like we got to have you back. I
have your
mean,
people call my people, my
yeah,
people
but have your
call
people.
your
Yeah, we're gonna
people.
have your people call my.
I
Yeah, we're
am
gonna have
my
your people
people.
call my people. You
Uh,
are our people. I mean, you
thank,
are our people. So if we
well,
have
I
like,
just gotta
I think
say, wave.com is ride the wave, WEIV. In case you don't know how to spell it, it's the word view spelled backwards. And you're gonna see my page pretty soon. And if you got any pain, Title Sport. It's at CVS. If it's not at your CVS, ask for it. TIDL. They spelled it that way because that's the way the kids do it now. But you can go to johnsalley.com. You guys want to book me? It's not that expensive, $100,000 per minute, and you got me.
you're so funny. You're so funny. Well, guys and gals, EXP fam, y'all, it has been such a pleasure, such an honor. Y'all, like we said, give it up like F4, F5. I think everybody's just tearing up the chat over here. So we're glad to have you. For those of you all, we've got just a few more minutes. I want to remind you to go over to the expo hall. We've got trivia night tonight. So we can't wait for that. You guys love this kind of, if this resonated with your who you are in your spirit, we're come to the one of our next sessions, which is kind of a continuation of this, is what's entertainment and information. We call it the scene, and so it's about sports, entertainment, influence, and us changing everything that John has talked about. Us revolutionizing the world of real estate through service, mindfulness, giving back. That's what it's about now in the future of real estate. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. I think that's it. John, you have one last thing. Oh,
Yeah,
well, I'll catch you on the I'll catch you on the court soon. I'll catch you on the
yeah.
court soon. But
Stay alive. Go vegan.
stay alive. Go vegan. Yeah, stay alive. So thanks, you guys. Have a great day and take care. Thanks, John. Oh, 2 degrees.